kind of vocal exercises you guys do to stay in practice and like hit the different like highs and lows and different pitches and tones?
I don't know. Well, Katie, you're a singer. I was a singer as well, and I think singing lessons for, even if you're not intending on being a singer, taking even just a few singing lessons just to properly learn how to use your voice without damaging it, because you can come up with some great voices, but as you find probably about 5 minutes into your read, you can feel like, oh, it's getting scratchy. You're like, I can't really talk, and then you realize that you basically just blown your voice for a while. And the real trick is to learn how to breathe properly and breathe from the diaphragm as you learn all these things. But really, just singing lessons is a really great way to do it. Also, too, it kind of tests your ability to put yourself out there, because the whole thing about doing this stuff is speaking in front of people. And there's a lot. They say the number one fear over death in life is speaking in front of people. Yeah. Yeah, and when people get up, like I am more at home here than I am going through customs. Yeah. I mean, they have my pants off. It's horrible. But I think singing lessons is a really good way to do it. Even just one or two, just to see like what you have as a vocal register, because someone who knows what they're talking about will be able to tell you how to use your voice a bit better. And Susan, you'll be able to talk a bit about that maybe, or Katie, same thing.
Yeah, well, I had, years ago, I did Alex on Totally Spies, and her voice was really high all the time, and she's always talking in this ridiculous register, screaming all the time, and then I got vocal nodes, or nodules, which are basically calluses on your vocal cords. It was a nightmare. It was awful. So what I was taught through all of that is that even in the shower in the morning, to warm up your voice is the most important thing you can do, and that's just basically just or just to do different registers, or hey, like just to hear yourself. And then, because if you wake up in the morning, the very first thing out of your mouth is you're groggy, or if someone calls you, your voice in the morning is a lot different than your lunchtime voice. But yeah, always warm up and drink lots of water.
One of the things, I mean, there are so many different exercises. Going to a vocal coach, going to a singing coach, there are so many out there. I think basically what you have to do is whatever makes you feel prepared. And it's funny, we're talking about vocal exercises. Of course, in the shower, where the muscles in your throat are being relaxed by the steam, is a great place to warm up. And also, when you're finished taking your shower, if you have the luxury of being able to drive to work, which I do, you can finish warming up in the car, which is what I do. So I'm driving along, and I'm, ha 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 ha, and away I go. And then I do what I call party pieces, so that my voice is now a little bit warmed up. I've done all the vocal exercises in the shower, and then I just do speeches that I did from theater school. And it's a little bit of Shakespeare. Gallop apace, you fiery footed steeds, towards famous lodging, such a wagoner as fate would whip you to the west and bring in dark night immediately. Spread thy cloak, and away I go. And all I'm doing is trying to kind of keep my tongue and my brain working in tandem, because that's the other thing that people don't realize, is that you have got to read copy very often, that's even in animation, that's really, really chock-a-block. So you can't be too slow and precise. You've got to, go lickety-split. So stuff like that is good. It is embarrassing to do that on a bus. To sit there warming up is not going to work very well, obviously. So that's why I'm really lucky that I'm able to drive to work, because the bus, or I don't know, do you have subways here? Do you have a subway that goes underground? But you have a train that goes, that you get on, or a bus, you get on the bus, and if you sat down on the bus and went, all right, folks, I'm going to do my vocalizing right now, they would look at you as if you were a bit nuts, right? Yeah, well, and rightly so. Because there you go. So what you have to do is figure out where you can do all this prep work, because it really is important. There's nothing worse than going in to do a job and just not being warm enough to be able to make your voice do what you want it to do, right?
That crazy thing that people see on a bus when you're trying to do a warm-up, which you wouldn't do, my kids see at home, right? So the people on the bus, they're them looking at me at home. So I'm trying to warm up. When I was doing Sailor Moon, I was always losing my voice. Always, always, always. And so every morning I wake up and go, do I have anything left today? And I try to get noise out. And the way that I sort of knew if I had a voice or not is if I could go, so I'd walk around going, and my little 1-year-old is toddling behind me, and I'd be like, and she'd go, and I go, are you making fun of me? And she'd go,